You go, because I think a pizza is a street food. If you refer to any of the books, pizza says it's a street food of Italy. So it's barely goes with the hand as well. It's no harm if you take a pizza along with the hand. Whereas if you are comfortable enough with a knife or a fork, yes, you can proceed. That's the more appropriate way to have it. So please don't be shy if you are eating along with the hand any such food.
Okay, now comes about soup. Soup, you always have already mentioned that there is a style of taking the soup. We normally take it, we will hold it, and we will take it horizontally, never put it vertically. If you have a soup spoon, and if you could just pass me that. So this is a soup spoon available with me. I'm going to take my soup from my bowl, and I'm going to take it like this. I'm going to sip it from the side, and it will be filled only about 3/4, just a bit of it. And I'm going to take it away, and I'm going to bring it back to it. It's always a good saying, I spoon my soup away from me. So it's always like that. This is how we will take it. You can see a demo over here. It's taking away, and then you bring it towards it. Next talks about when we finish up the soup course. Remember, whenever we're going for fine dining, we always begin and we always finish with the course. And we need to indicate to the server who's serving you that we have finished eating. So in order to finish it up, we're going to take up the soup spoon and going to place it on the side of it. And this gives a clear indication to the person who's serving you that gentleman or the lady has finished the course.
But now the question comes, what about when you are already having it? You are taking this soup, a phone call or so, and you are having a discussion on the table. What to do at that end of the soup? Spoon will be in it. Anybody else? Soup will be in the bowl. You are taking a soup now. Okay? In between, somebody is trying to communicate something to you. You are there at a resting position. Now, where will you place your soup spoon? In the bowl.
Okay, can we have some raised hands so that we can even distribute the one fine books?
Okay, now the question comes now. If you are keeping it inside the bowl, the soup is piping hot. You are having a word for a minute or two with a gentleman on the table. Now again you take the spoon of soup. What has happened to you then? Ma'am, you go to any of the hotels, a good standard would be serving you a piping hot soup. Okay. Great, that's an answer for our question, Mama Books for sir. We keep this soup spoon by the side itself, we don't take it inside. Because I wonder if you have been to any of the restaurant, they haven't served you a piping hot soup. It's a service fault which they are giving it to you. Otherwise, a good restaurant is supposed to serve you a piping hot soup. And if you're having a word for a minute or two on the people on your table, and you have dipped your spoon inside the soup, again it's a piping hot. It's a steel or maybe you're keeping a cutlery. It's piping hot again. And while you're taking a second sip of the soup, you can face the consequences then again. So it's every time suggested, yes sir?
For a book, sir. Anything, any given point of time, you pick up a particular cup
you have a question?
on the table, you would never put it back on the table. Because it's used, even if you pick up like this for a moment, then also go onto the plate directly.
So when
it comes to knife and fork, you're never supposed to keep the knife and fork like this. It sounds a little rude. You're pointing someone like this, always keep it like this.
You are taking it or not, and you're asking whether you want to go or not. Again, if you're seeing that it's like more than 4 to 5 minutes, and you're also not taking it so that the soup is moving like that, check if you whether you want to go or not to the soup, and then only you can yes.
Okay, moving further. The bread and butter. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question.
Sure.
Is it rude in a restaurant to finish the soup to the last drop? And if it is not, how do you manage it? Do you tilt the bowl away from you, or you don't do this?
Okay, this parts were already being clear, because we're going to give you information about it. In case if you want to take up the little bit that's left, and it's a delicious one, and you want to consume that one, you're going to tilt it away from you. The plate that you have, I'm going to just demonstrate it once. Exactly. Sir did it initially, so he knows the right way. See, this is how you can take it up. Ma'am, I hope I've answered your question. Perfect. Thank you so much, ma'am. Then comes the next session when it comes about bread and butter.
Before that, I would like to make a note which ma'am has mentioned, whether it's rude or not. Yes, it is rude if you leave some food onto the plate. You travel nowadays in South India. What I experienced this time when I visited Bangalore, that there was a restaurant who was charging me. I was leaving the food in my plate and he was charging me a fine for leaving the food there on the plate. So that people, they don't leave and they don't waste the food. Because in the world of globalization, we all know there are 30 to 40% population in this world who are not getting the food to eat sufficient food. So they have come up with a concept that don't waste it, otherwise they will charge you. And this is how people are coming up. So yes, it is something believe that it's rude if you leave out the food source. So you can take the last bit, ma'am.
Okay, so the bread and the butter part, I don't have what you will do all of you. We're going to take it from the bread basket. You all could see some basket available on your table. That basket is a bread basket which will keep the entire croissant or maybe other puffs over here. You're going to take one, put it on your plate, which is always on the left hand side. You're going to take a small bite, take the butter from the butter dish, take it in, put it on your plate. From your plate, you're going to take and butter it up. This is a simple process so that you do not make the other things mess about. So this is how you're going to get your butter. Then comes the next thing as to how to hold the cutlery. The cutlery will always be holded. I'll give you a demonstration once again for this. Can you please pass me the knife and the fork? So this is your main course fork and this is your knife. I'm going to take this one, hold it with my index finger on the neck of it like this. I'm going to cover it up over here. I'm not going to hold it like a pencil, like this, or maybe like this. It always goes with the neck. Hold it like this, cover it. Can we all do that? Similarly, it goes with the knife. We're going to take the index finger and put it over here on the neck of the knife. And then we're going to turn around. In both the styles, whether it is American or continental, the style for the beginning of the course remains the same. So we're going to cut, we're going to eat. We're going to cut, we're going to eat. And remember, whenever we are cutting it, we are not going back and forth. We are not doing this. We cut it like this, and we're going to eat it. Remember, we're not going to sew it up.
We have a glimpse here, like how to hold that. So, yes.
Okay, so you can have a look over here how we're going to hold the cutlery, the fork, and the knife part. There are different styles of eating, highlighting on the styles. We all talked about American and continental. The basic difference talks about that we're going to cut the food. The image that has been demonstrated to you. We're going to cut it in the same way, but we're going to change the hand from the left and go to the right. I'll just again show you a demo for that. Say, this is you're going to be cutting it here. I have cut this from here. This knife will go back to my plate. With this edges, separated edges facing towards me. It will go like this, and then this thing goes and goes. Remember, this is times down. When I'm changing it to the American style, holding it like a pencil, it goes times up.
You can have a look here, like the gentleman, the way he is cutting it, he's having the times down. As it is there in the continental style as well. But while eating the food, he has rested his knife here, and the fork again, with the times up into his right hand. This is how the exactly appropriate way with an American style people they follow it. Or the question like which ma'am had like into how many bites we are supposed to cut the food. It was basically related with American style. What many times happen that people for their comfortness they cut the whole slice. Maybe if it's any of the food, maybe a vegetarian eggplant pave or so, he would cut up into around about 8 to 10 pieces. He'll rest his knife here, he'll take the fork and he'll enjoy his meal. Whereas we are not supposed to do that. Every bite, we have to cut a single bite, again rest the knife here, take the fork, eat the food.
So this we were talking about American style. Then we move on to the next slide. That slide talks about the European. In the European, we do not change the hand. We do not switch over. The cutlery remains the same. We quickly eat it up. Just cut, eat, and eat. This is the simple process of taking it up.
But you can have a look that the times are down again here. Times are not up. And it's
down, always. Okay, let's go. They always say, for an example, you're there for a business meeting or maybe for a fine dining. You would always like to speak to your people around you on the table. You would always like to keep it. The question comes, where do we keep the cutlery when we are on a resting position? While we are talking to someone. So there are different styles which have been highlighted and it shows about the resting position. This is how we are resting. That means the cutlery should stay apart, which gives an indication to the server that the person is at rest and wants to eat more. But when we are close, as already demonstrated in the last question and answer session, we go for a 10-20 position with times up. Remember, times up. It's going to go like this on the plate. The next slide talks about the continental resting and the continental closing positions. There are different closing positions for the different styles of eating. When it comes to resting position for continental, it is like this, and similarly, while for the closing position, it always runs like this. Okay, moving further. Passing, ma'am has already discussed that you can always pass it from the right hand side because the right hand becomes more stronger to carry things and to pass forward, and this is how we're going to proceed for it. Toasting. This is very important. In a fine dining, we always have toast masters. Toast master, can anybody would let me know who is the toast master? Anybody who raises their hand will get the book, I'm sure. Yes, sir.
The person who proposes the toast.
The person who proposes the toast. Anyone else still looking for a better one? Yes, ma'am. The host. Okay. Host. Okay. The one who raises the glass. Okay. On whosoever honor is it. Okay, sir.
Okay. Now I'll give you a hint. A toastmaster is not the person who is there on the table. Neither the host, nor the guest of honor, nor any of the other guests standing on the table.
Can anybody give us a, we're looking for a right answer so that we can give you that nice book. Yes, ma'am. Perfect. Can you hand round the applause for her? This is the right answer and the book goes to you, ma'am. Okay, the toast master is the person who is the server who is actually going to do the service for your entire function. He is the conductor of a banquet, in other words, and he is the person who is going to manage the entire meal of yours. That person is called as a toast master. It's not the host, it's not the guest. It's a person who is making an arrangement for you. That means somebody from the hotel. That person is precisely called as toast master.
You would come across a person's coming inside the restaurant and giving a word, my lord, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for the toast in the name of Mr. and the name of the host or the guest of honor for whom the toasting needs to be done. You would find a person coming up with such phrases. And then she has explained it that everybody will raise the toast and the guest of honor, he'll never take the sip. He'll take the sip only after everybody on the table they have already taken the sip. We have get into a very much depth into it again. That would be some days covered into the bar etiquettes, like what to order, what not to order, what is the sequence of the toasting and so.
Okay, the finger bowl part. I'm just going to demonstrate one more time how we're going to take up the finger bowl and I'm going to use it up. Say for an example, you might see something like this which is coming onto the table. Okay, with this, probably what you need to do is, this is a doily paper. It is a doily paper. This is a bowl with some freshener in it, and then this is a plate. We're going to use the top part of it. I'm going to take my hand, dip it into it, not I'm going to put it inside. Just a slight of it, wash it up, take up the doily paper, put it on the left hand side over here. And the beneath plate, the plate which is underlined, or you can say as an underliner, works as a dessert plate for me. The plate which is under this plate, is the dessert plate which stays as an underliner. We're going to use it. So we're going to just pick it from here, from the paper, put it towards the left side, and then use this plate.
Whereas here in India, you would be experiencing that once if you're through with your meal, the finger bowl comes in, and then you use the finger bowl, it goes away, and then the dessert gets served. But the things which we are talking about here, you would not have experienced much here. You travel anywhere into the world, you will find out any of the restaurants serving you in this way itself. The dessert plate would be down. We don't experience much here in India. So this, the purpose behind showing you this was that whenever if you come across that situation, you should be aware right now what to do next. Because what we do it here in any of the layman restaurants, you go to any of the biggest restaurant in India, they'll serve you the finger immediately after the meal and we use it and we get prepared for the desserts.
Any particular reason for bringing the bowl in the plate?
So standard.
So there must be some reason for this. Why can't this be brought separately? If they have started like this, there must have been some reason to it.
So the plate remains clean because we already have a doily paper place on it, if you remember. It remains as a clean one. We picked it from the doily paper, keep it on to the left. So this plate is a clean plate and we can use this plate. So normally it happens, finger bowl, once we finish it up, immediately the dessert comes. So when the dessert would come, it will be served to you as soon as possible.
Also, even it could be a reason that if you're there in a common meeting and we don't want a server interrupting every now and then in the table. For example, if you're not serving you the finger bowl along with the dessert plate, it will come up again. A person again is serving in a table alone only with a finger bowl. So maybe it could be for the disturbances, so the disturbances in the table could be reduced. Because into a big common meeting, we don't appreciate anybody every now and then poking inside, excuse me, so a glass of water or a tea or so and so. We don't want anybody poking inside. To reduce the coming up of the server on the table, they could have done that.
Economy of effort.
Yes, sir.
Okay, going further, whenever you find something which is stuck in your mouth or in your teeth, you always excuse yourself from the table, use the restroom, and over there you can. The basic thing is, any lipsticks for the ladies, even the cell phones, nothing is there, should be there on the table. It should always go off it.
Just a small question. I know I should not ask in person, but so that we don't experience somewhere into the restaurant also, how do we, something is stuck, like what's the most appropriate way, like how do we use a toothpick or so? I suppose everybody would be aware. Great, ma'am. We do hire you, then take it out. You would come across many people dining nearby your table who would not do something like that, and being a human, he'll do something in front of you, and we don't appreciate that. So the most appropriate way to use the toothpick is that we always now and then we hide it, and then we use the toothpick. But that too, if it's a very common dining or a very good restaurant, we do it into the washroom. We don't do it on the table again. We excuse ourselves to the washroom, and then we do it there itself.
Okay, so this talks about an indication to the server again. We have been talking about napkin that remains from the first point to the last point. Whenever you want to take an important call, though in fine dining, cell phones are big no, but whenever you want to excuse yourself for any reason, what you need to do is you just pick it from the lap and you're going to put it on the chair, just give an indication that you are on a resting position. But the moment you're going to finish it up, then you're going to take a finger up and you're going to place it on the left side. This we've already talked about into the question answer session. Okay, before doing that, I would like to highlight about the word which is called as free compliments. Somebody who's serving you and giving you a better service, it becomes our area to say a word of thanks to that person. Thank you, gentlemen, for serving us. Thank you, Toastmaster, for serving us. The food was good. Or maybe in good fine properties, you might even see chef running up to the table, having for a round of applause. Yes, you really did a good job. The food was fine or it was good. Similarly, this particular style, no one has ever become poor by giving.
What does it mean? Any idea what we're talking about? Of course. Okay, the tip. Okay, the compliments which we give, the tip which we give it. Nowadays, you would have seen that many of the restaurants of the hotel, they have started as a service tax. Yes, so this
Perfect,
is the...
ma'am. I think your answer is so good that, so we have a good ma'am and an applaud for her. We already have a service charge written over there. Ma'am. Okay, in very fine, you might could see the menu, and the menu you can, with a star always written, we like service charge, which is a clear indication that the service charges are included. Even for the book, and he gets it. Can we have an applaud for him, please?
I wanted to inform the house that yes, tipping is there into our society and we appreciate that. But if you travel in many parts of the world, like if you travel Ireland or Japan or China, people they don't appreciate. Whenever if you're traveling somewhere into the world and you are there in dining, it's every time good to know what exactly the rules and regulations of the country. If you ship out in these countries, people they get offended. Whereas we would be very happy that we are giving a tip for a wow service.